Thanks for staying, everybody. Hi, I'm Dr. Angie Eilers, a former professor turned entrepreneur, first-generation college goer, mom of twins, and the founder of Your Turn, which is student guidance software to guide middle school and high school students and their families. You could think of us as like the Google Maps for education planning. We have students drop a pin in your educational destination, and using predictive analytics, we help them chart a course for success using their own data. But you might ask, why do students need a map to navigate their way through middle school and high school? And isn't that the job of the school guidance counselor, after all? Well, that would be fantastic if it weren't for the fact that there are nearly 500 students assigned to every one school counselor in U.S. schools today. 500 to 1. And at the same time, 32 states have legislated that schools develop what are called personalized learning plans, or basically personalized pathway maps to get them through school. And why do they need to have personalized pathways? Well, sadly, it's because we are still, shockingly, facing a 25% dropout rate in high school. And after high school, only 50% of students who went through high school go on for a 2-year or a 4-year college right after high school. 65% of jobs in this market today require at least a 2-year degree. So we're losing students along the way. The overwhelmed counselors are skilled or are tasked with having developed these pathway plans for 500 kids, and then they're faced with a cloud of data. This data cloud travels with every single student. And I can tell you, school counselors were not trained to be data scientists, nor were parents, frankly. Parents are sent home with these same data points. If you have kids in school, you know what this data cloud looks like. I happen to be one of those moms who has a PhD and loves data, and I was ingesting this stuff with some work, but it dawned on me, I thought, what is the everyday busy family doing with this data? There's so much meaning and insight. We could do better at making sense of this data. So I pitched an idea to the National Science Foundation. I said, you know, we really need to make the Fitbit of education tracking, and I'm glad to tell you that they agreed, and they were our first funder. So Your Turn is a goal-setting and progress-tracking app for middle school and high school students and their families to set goals and track the progress, not only where they are, but really where they're likely to go based on goals that they've set for themselves. And for the busy and overwhelmed counselors, we've developed an interactive dashboard to track those hundreds of kids and to triage for them accordingly. So then you might ask, aren't there a lot of data dashboards out there? Well, there are for superintendents and principals and teachers who have to do a lot of data sorting and reporting to be in compliance at the district and the state and the federal level. So we take this data and we simply make it more accessible for those who use it. And you might also think, well, aren't there other products like this? There are career interest inventory trackers, but those aren't necessarily tied to students' personalized data in a predictive way. We're the first to the market to apply machine learning to educational data for goal setting. And then there are, of course, college prep products. I can tell you about most of those products are designed for students who already know they're going on for a 4-year college, and that represents only 30% of students in the US. So that's leaving 70% of the market untouched, and we think unserved and underestimated. Your Turn serves students to make their way successfully through high school, and then to show them a pathway into a 2-year and 4-year college, and we can predict that for them before they even know that they're qualified. We think the market opportunity is significant. Globally, there are 700 million middle school and high school students. In the US alone, there are 25 million middle school and high school students. And for $10 per student per year, superintendents are telling us they can't afford not to turn to predictive analytics to help support their students. I want to point out that we were asked to estimate what would 1% market share look like. In our case, if we had all the schools in Arkansas using Your Turn, that would represent 1% of the market, and I'm happy to tell you we're in early conversations with Arkansas. As for our traction and growth, I mentioned that the National Science Foundation kickstarted our company. I built a prototype and I put it in front of 3 superintendents, and they bought it that day. And I was like, all right. So the following year, one of these superintendents invited me to pitch in front of 10 of his superintendent peers, and all 10 of them signed on that day. So that's when I quit my day job. And now I'm happy to tell you that we're in a partnership with PowerSchool, which is the largest student data warehouse company in the United States. They have well over 65% of the schools in the United States. We plug directly into PowerSchool. So they are a significant channel partner for us, and this year we're expecting considerable growth, which is why I'm raising funds. PowerSchool's also got statewide adoption in Arkansas, North and South Carolina, North Dakota, a variety of states and large districts. So we are going after those states as well and looking for statewide adoption by the end of this year. We have a two-tier go-to-market strategy. Currently, we're selling directly to school districts, but now with this partnership, we're going to have this channel distribution nationally. You know that in SaaS products, the capital overhead is low, but the margins are attractive. And our students are repeat customers from 6th grade to 12th grade, so we have a significant ARR. I'll leave this for you to take home with you if you want to get a copy of the slides, but the short answer is we will break even next year. I have a powerhouse team of dedicated educators, technologists, and data scientists. And all of us have been a part of startups, and all of us are parents, so this comes with real and lived insight. We are raising $1 million, and for $1 million, you will be serving 1.6 million students over the next 2 years, and you'd own 28% of the company. And with those dollars, we're going to improve the product efficacy, the algorithm, and the technology, and also fan out across the nation for national distribution. We've raised over $600,000 to date, and a lot of that's been non-dilutive. Our exit strategy is this. We know that we make PowerSchool a better product. We plug into it, and we make sense of their data so that parents and students can engage. We want to tell them it's your turn to get in the driver's seat of your education, and we make it simple for them. PowerSchool is in an acquisitive mode. They're owned by a private equity firm called Vista Equity Partners. Vista Equity Partners loves data companies, and we're going to get into these states and get their respect and their attention. We hope to look at an acquisition within 2 years. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank the University of Utah and the Sorensen Impact Fund for inviting me to this. We're based in Minneapolis, but you'll see me tonight along with these other fantastic startup companies. I hope you'll talk with us, share what you know with us. But you can reach me at Angie@yourturn.org, or yourturn.org is our website. Thanks very much, and please join us for getting millions of students on the pathway of success. Thanks.